Yo, old is gold. I remember hearing this thing when I was a kid and we went up against these senior basketball players, man. His name was Bugga, and he was at the Wildwood tournament that we played in. And this guy at that time was probably pushing 40 and we were in our early 20s. And I remember this guy friggin' scored on us once and everyone was like, yeah, Bugga. And he looks at us, he's like, old is gold. And I woke up feeling that way this morning, man. Last night I got to play in Nagra. King of Nagra's first ever trivia night, and old man didn't do too bad, you know what I mean? Held it down for the youngins. And I don't know, nothing makes you feel older than playing trivia where people are going, we're gonna ask questions from, a bygone era, and you're like, bygone era, brother, that's when I grew up. But it was fun, man. And then I got lucky enough that a lot of the questions I had were a little more generic. Like, it wasn't too focused on like Minecraft or Roblox, because if that happened I would have been done. I had no chance. But luckily we went and stayed old school a little bit. One of the questions I got though was hilarious, because it was this game was really popular on Nokia phones, and as soon as he said Nokia, I knew exactly what the game was. It's Snake. Anyone of my generation would know Snake. Snake was like, when Nokia phones dropped, this was right before cell phones really popped off. Like, no one owned a cell phone really before before Nokia went mainstream. And then at our school, I remember in high school, it was like an overnight adoption, because like cell phone plans just dropped in price, and all of a sudden you could get a 2-year plan with like 5 megs of data. Actually, you got no data. There was no such thing as data at that time. But you'd get this phone, and all these phones had on it, the only game that came with it was Snake, and then later they added Brick Breaker. And I think that was more of a BlackBerry thing, but I digress. And so I'm playing, and everyone's kind of like, how the hell? Like, a lot of people treated that as archaic knowledge. Like, how would anyone even know what this is? Meanwhile, anyone of my generation, Snake was that one global thing that every kid played at one point. And then it got me thinking, I'm like, it's weird, because like, when I think back to like, what's my first system, it's the Nintendo system, NES. The classic gray box thing. And all kids were in my area were getting those around 5 or 6, 7 years old. The kids who I'm going up against in these trivia shows, or all these other Punjabi streamers, a lot of these guys are young dudes. And for them, the system that have been getting, that Nintendo equivalent, was like the PS3. That does not make sense to me. Like, the PS3 was what was popping off when they were like 5 or 6, 7 years old. And for me, the PS3 was something that came out when I had finished university and I was just starting my first job. So it's kind of like throwing this weird age meld universe together sometimes just doesn't connect. And I think people don't really get that about aging, is it doesn't matter how old you get, you're kind of still a lot of times stuck, or everything after 20 just melds together in this one big puddle of thought and time. So a lot of things that happened even when I was 25 are like, that feels like it just happened yesterday. Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that wasn't that, holy smoke. And then you like put time together, and you're like, wow, that was a long time ago. I have friends now who got married when I was like late high school, and they were a little older than me, but now their kids, now their kids are in university, and I'm like, holy smokes. And some of them are almost done university. I remember seeing one kid like, hey, how are your kids? Like, I'm like, yeah, they're probably starting university soon. And they're like, starting, man. She's almost done. Almost got her freaking med degree. I was like, what? Like, boom. And I realized that with gaming and stuff, sometimes when people make a comment about a game, that I'm like, yeah, I remember that game. Just played it yesterday. They're like, what do you mean? That's retro. It still boggles my mind that PS2, PS3 games are considered retro. For me, retro is like Genesis and NES, but I don't know. Anyways, man, that was a fun night. I probably should just leave on top, never play again, because honestly, I don't know where my brain's going. The fact that I even remembered some of these answers is insane to me. I should just stick to age-appropriate things and go play bocce ball or something. I guess I played golf. That counts, right? Anyways, man, y'all have a dope-ass day. Till the next one. Peace.